On today's Morning Rounds, we look at the potential health risks from pesticides in our food. Nearly 70% of conventionally grown produce sold in the U.S. was found to have pesticide residue, according to a new report from the Environmental Working Group. As we told you yesterday, strawberries, spinach, and kale top their so-called dirty dozen list of produce with the most pesticide contamination. The report was based on USDA tests, which have found that a sample of conventionally grown kale could contain up to 18 different pesticides. Samantha Heller is a registered dietitian at NYU Langone Health and joins us with more on this. Good morning.
Good morning.
So I said this in the makeup room this morning. My dad would literally spend 2 minutes washing any produce in the morning, and I would always ask, what are you doing that for? And he said, don't you see these people spraying with pesticide wearing astronaut uniforms?
No, no, say it the way your dad, yes, Bianna, say it the way your dad.
Don't you see these people wearing astronaut uniforms? I mean, my question this morning is, was he onto something? Do we really need to wash better?
I don't know if we need to wash better, but we do need to wash. And I think we forget when we buy things like parsley or basil, they need to be washed when they're fresh. We need to wash melons and lemons and limes. And that doesn't take off just a lot of the pesticide residue, but a lot of the other detritus that these vegetables and produce are exposed to in transit, in prep, in stocking the shelves. So we do need to wash our fruits and vegetables, but a lot of us forget to do that.
Does the washing actually take the pesticides off?
It takes some of the residue off, but remember, pesticides also live in soil and in water, so the plant is sucking these up for nutrients, so it can be in the tissues of the plant as well.
But we hear pesticides, Samantha, and it freaks a lot of people out. How worried should we be?
Pesticides are toxins, and at high levels, people that are at risk are like farmers and the sprayers you see in those like hazmat type suits, right? And they can cause endocrine problems like hormone problems, neurological problems, increased risk for cancer. So we do want to minimize our use of pesticides. We want to support local farmers who are farming organically and sustainably. However, when you're consuming some of the produce that is on the dirty dozen list that we can't afford maybe to buy organically or we don't have in our neighborhood, the benefits of how fantastic kale and strawberries and spinach are for you definitely outweigh the amount of pesticide that has been found in them. So I don't want people to be paranoid that they can't eat these foods.
So it's still better to eat spinach than a cheeseburger?
Yes, it is.
Since we're talking about dads, my parents were in town this weekend and we made a gumbo and we were shopping and I said, Dad, I want all organics. And he just rolled his eyes at me. So it made me think, if you can't always buy organic or you don't want to, what are the top 3 organics you should get and the top 3 that you don't need to have organic?
Well, if you're going to go by the dirty dozen list, the top of the list were the strawberries and the spinach and the kale. If I were pregnant, if I had little ones, I might buy the organic baby food. I might, for those 9 months, focus more on the organic fruits and vegetables that are in that dirty dozen list. But if I can't afford it, again, if it's not in your area, it's still worth eating them. You may just want to eat less of them during those periods of time. Fruits and vegetables are fantastic for us, and we are not eating enough of them in this country, so I don't want people to get scared.
No. Why would I want any kind of pesticides in my body based on what you just said pesticides cause?
Good point.
We don't. Yeah, but we live in an environment where pesticides can stay in our soil and our water for decades.
But I hear you saying it's okay to eat it as long as you don't eat a lot of it.
Well, it's also, we have to look at the amount that's in the food. How much is in there and how much is going to actually have an effect and increase our risk for these health issues that we mentioned previously. The EPA, the USDA, they're saying the amount in these foods are not enough to really cause a lot of problems. The Environmental Working Group also says the benefits of eating these do outweigh the risk of those pesticides. So what we can do is buy organic when we can afford it. You can buy frozen when the food's not in season, save some money doing that, right? Don't use pesticides in your yard. Try not to use them in your home gardens. Try to encourage your maybe local supermarket manager to get local produce that's organic or grown with fewer pesticides. Tell the big agri companies to use less as well.
All right, Samantha Heller, all good advice. Thank you very much.
Thank you.